So welcome to my channel. If you're new, I'm Adrian and Kiwi is my parrot. Um, so today I kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about something that happened. Um, you guys know I'm going into the hospital, and I've talked a little bit about what I wanted to take with me. One of those things was I wanted to make an ultimate sacrifice shawl. Using the Yarn Bee Authentic hand-dyed yarn that my mom bought me for my birthday. It was in the colorway Hibiscus Palm. So Benjamin and I got to caking it up for me to take to the hospital. I'm probably going to bring other projects, but this is just the one that, you know, I have hanks and it needed to be hanked up. I think I only have 3 of the hanks. We only caked up 3. I'm pretty sure I only have 3, but I also kind of wonder if I don't have a 4th somewhere floating around. I don't know, like I have to dig around in here somewheres. But anyways, I wanted to show you guys first off what it looks like after it's been caked up. This is what it looks like when it is caked up. Similar to pretty much any other hand-dyed yarn that, you know, you can, most hand-dyes kind of look, well, most hand-dyes look a lot different after they've been caked up. I'll throw a picture of, actually, I've got a little bit of a video that I can attach to this one that shows you what it looked like in a hank form compared to what it looks like in the cake. This almost reminds me of Christmas colors, but this green color, it's actually a green, it's more of a green teal color than it is, like a Christmassy green. But, anyways, aside from that, you can see I've got all 3 of them, and if I find another one before I go into the hospital, we'll cake that one up too. Benjamin is super great with winding yarn. He sticks the little yarn labels in there for me. But on one of these, I don't know which one it was because now they're all mixed up. One of these hanks, I guess it was just like a bad hank. Because the first 2 were stellar. They didn't tangle up, didn't have any problems getting them on the Swift. I thought for sure that I might end up with some dye on my hands. Didn't end up with any dye on my hands at all. But the 3rd one was a little more difficult to get onto the Swift. And then we got it on, and, you know, with the right side out, so that it wouldn't tangle. And, partially the way through, like, we got part of the way through, and the yarn just slipped out of my hands, because usually what I do is we put it on the Swift, and then I'll hold the yarn and let it run through my hands while he winds it, just to keep it from snagging, and, you know, kind of keep it out of the way so it doesn't pull the Swift off the table or get tangled in the Swift, you know, that kind of thing. And also that way he doesn't have to keep looking at the Swift. He could just focus on winding, and if he has to slow down, I can tell him to slow down or whatnot. It just makes the process easier for us. But this one of these cakes, we thought at first we thought it had broke, because it just came apart, and Ben's like, what just happened? And I'm like, you didn't do anything wrong. Sometimes that happens. It's no big deal. And then I got to looking at it, and I thought, well, maybe I cut it while I was cutting the ties off. That's not what happened either. I don't know how it broke, because Benjamin's tension wasn't off or anything like that. I know, I mean, these are nice cakes. I mean, they're firm, but they're not super firm, you know what I mean? So his tension was fine. And then, so I just did a magic knot and retied it to the end that was still on the Swift. And so we kept going. And it did it again, just maybe a yard or two later. And I was like, this has got to be like a bad hank or something, or, you know, something must have happened. Well, the third time, it was not actually broken all the way through, because I tied it a second time using the magic knot. The third time, it was in a different color. The first two times, it was in the yellow that it broke. The third time, it was in the middle of a red section, and it didn't break all the way through, but what Benjamin noticed is as he was winding, there were threads, like, piling up on his finger, where like, one ply had broke, but the others hadn't. So I told him just kind of take it and smooth it back down as best you can, and just go ahead and keep going. When I find it while I'm crocheting, then I'll cut that damaged piece out and do another knot. And I just wondered, I was curious if anybody has had this kind of a problem with Yarn Bee Authentic hand-dyed before. This is the first hank of this stuff that I've had any problems with. I used some to make my muffin cocoon cardigan. It was a different colorway. But I've got a ton of this hand bead authentic, the Yarn Bee hand dyed authentic. I've got a ton of it hanging up in the hallway, just because at the time that I got it, it was during the Hobby Lobby clearance yarn haul thing, and they had marked it down like 75% off, and it was only like $3.50 when I got it, and so I have a ton of it, and I haven't used a lot of it. These, actually, my mom paid full price, $16.99 for per hank for these. They are 100% superwash merino, and now that I'm saying that, maybe that's why I didn't have a problem with dye coming off on my hands, because I was certain that there was going to be dye. I mean, just with how dark and saturated these colors are, I really thought that I was going to have problems with it. But I didn't. So, I mean, that's a plus. But yeah, I was just kind of curious if any of you guys have experienced that problem with the Yarn Bee Authentic hand-dyed yarns. I know that sometimes you can have that with, like, Bernat blanket yarns. I haven't experienced it with Bernat yet. But I have seen videos where people, you know, have knots or they have breakage in their yarns, you know, and I'm thinking that maybe just one out of the 3 hanks that I got happened to be a bad hank. I know that when Mom got them for me, there was only like 3 or 4 on the shelf, and I know that she got all of what was on the shelf in that color because that's the, you know, that's the color she liked. I really do need to check and make sure that there's not a 4th floating around here somewhere. If there is, it's gonna be somewhere pretty close by. But anyways, guys, that is just what I wanted to get your thoughts on, is what y'all's experience with this yarn, you know, is it something that happens commonly or not? You know, I've got so much of it out in the hallway. I would hate to find out later that, you know, half the hanks are going to be like that and have breakage where I have to tie them together. I mean, it's not something that can't be fixed, but it's annoying. But anyways, guys, I will see you in my next video. Definitely give me your thoughts in the comment section below. And, you know, I don't know when you guys are going to see this video, but, yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!